All right, Lindsey, shut the fuck up. I'm not talking to you right now, okay? You can join the podcast later. Adrian,
Yes.
I'm going to date this episode.
Yeah.
Today is August 3rd, day of recording.
Uh-huh.
Not the day of the release.
No.
Did you watch the Pokemon Presents earlier today?
Yes, you strapped me down to a chair and forced me to watch it.
Yeah, I did. I'm actually really excited for the new Pokemon game, Scarlet
Really?
and Violet. Yeah, because, like, I was excited for Sword and Shield, and then, like, 3
It
months
was
went by, and they were like,
poo-poo,
oh, they
caca.
lied to us about
Yeah.
fucking every mechanic.
Yeah.
But this one, they're actually showing footage of the mechanic. So it's like, is that for real? Are we actually getting, like, legitimate multiplayer this time? And they're like, yeah. It's like, okay. And it's an open world? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like,
I totally forgot they did a Pokemon Direct today, and my friend told me about it.
it's called
and...
Pokemon Presents now.
Yeah.
Sorry. Woo.
Keep up, honey.
Okay.
Wait, so are they actually doing, like, PvP multiplayer?
Not PvP.
It's
From the
cooperative.
looks of
It's
yeah.
up to 4 players, and you can run around the Breath of the Wild ass world.
Although
Nice.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did do like a Tower of blah 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 that I can't remember of.
Oh yeah,
Where you can do PvP, but you have
I'm
to like
sure.
link it somehow. You know?
They're also bringing back the raids from Sword and Shield, which I think is good because that was a good mechanic. But what's really neat about it to me is I only had you watch the trailer, Adrian, but after that in the actual present, they talked about it more. They talked about some of the new Pokemon that are in it and some of the new characters.
Yeah, you sent the fluffy bread one.
Yeah, it's a dog made out of fucking bread, and his name is Fido, but it's
Yeah.
Dough. His name is Fido. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the cutest shit I've ever seen.
Also, he looks
Delicious.
delicious.
He
I
does.
know. The description on like the website about him is like they either want me to eat this dog or fuck this dog, and I can't tell which. But the answer is yes. But what's really interesting to me, other than the multiplayer and like the raids and stuff, is when they were talking more in depth about the game afterward, it's open world. End of statement.
Uh-huh.
You can go wherever you want from the beginning. The game will scale as you do.
Okay. See, that was gonna be my question.
So of the 8 gyms, you can challenge them in any order you want.
see, I don't
But,
know if I
okay.
like that or not.
See, I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that, too.
Lindsey, we're not
but...
fucking talking to you. I'm
Wait,
sorry, go on.
When they say open world, when they say open world, are they talking like ugly like Arceus was? Because Arceus was really boring.
I'm gonna be honest. It looks exactly like Pokemon Arceus.
I'll go. It looks like they kind of learned a little bit from Arceus, but not.
There's more than
Much.
like palettes of gray and white.
Yes.
Yeah.
This did not take place in Sinnoh.
Well,
this takes place in Spain and Portugal.
Also, it looks like there's like a like different terrain too. Like there's a
Yes.
snowy area.
Yeah.
There's like a little jungle
with
area.
the new cute gym leader,
Yeah.
the ice gym leader, she's real cutie. She has a new Pokemon called Sea Titan.
I don't get the pun in that one.
Just a giant sea creature. It's called Sea Titan.
Oh.
So
I'm gonna be honest. I think it looks kind of bleh.
really,
Uh-huh.
because I remember, Adrian, you and we both stopped in Gen 6, right?
So
X and Y?
I remember. No, it was after that. I remember because like we were like, all right, well, I'm gonna get it.
And that's what I was gonna get to. Is you and I were both like, we're gonna get Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon,
Yeah.
and we're gonna play them in tandem. About a week went by, and we're both like, yeah, it's a little slow, but like it's fine. About like a month went by, and I forget which one of us said it first, but I was like, oh yeah, I fucking stopped playing it. And then and the other one was like, oh yeah, that shit was so fucking boring.
Yeah. Well, like they got rid of gyms. That was fucking stupid.
Yeah. But that's kind of why I think this is cool. Also, when they went more in depth in this one, they talked about how there's 3 congruous storylines now. The main storyline, like usual, is being conquer the 8 gyms, fight the Elite Four, right?
Yeah.
Because that's just Pokemon. And taking that out of Pokemon is a stupid fucking move.
Yes.
Generation 7.
Yes.
But the other thing, they didn't mention the 3rd storyline from what I could tell, but they mentioned the second one. It seems like they're leaning into kind of like, this is Spain and Portugal. A big thing in history is Spain and Portugal were the conquistadors, right? They went out to different countries and like different areas, and they were like the original like treasure hunters, the Indiana Jonesy, Tomb Raidersy kind of thing. One of the storylines is going out and being like a treasure hunter.
Okay.
And apparently there's going to be a whole fucking thing with that.
Okay. I mean, the third is probably gonna be some like Team Rocket, Team
Yeah.
Magma.
Yeah,
like,
whoever the villain team is.
yes,
Um,
because that it's in every single Pokemon game.
I will say though, I have not seen anything in the trailers that points to a villain team, which is very odd to me. Because there's always a villain team, you know.
Yeah, always.
But yeah, no, there's a new Wooper, who it's Lindsey. It's basically the Quaggins from Guild Wars 2, where they used to live. Yeah, they used to live underwater, but then they were driven out from by bigger creatures, and so now the Woopers in what the fuck was the region called? It starts with a P. But this new form of Wooper of this region is they went to swamps and marshlands, and so now instead of being little blue camouflage goofy little guys, they're covered in mud and they're poison type now instead of water. Yeah, they're cute. I like them.
Yeah.
They are wearing blackface though, so that's a little
Okay. Well, I mean, Jinx.
No, I just mean that they're not blue anymore, they're brown because they're covered in mud.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
But Jinx is a geisha girl.
Yeah, I know. Also, another thing I noticed about the trailer, the first thing I noticed about the trailer, they copied the exact first shot
of Final
Fantasy IX, and
Yeah.
I'm not over that.
It is. Once you said it, I was like, oh, fuck, he's right.
Yeah. Yeah, even to I mean, there's a Pokeball inside it, but to the castle with the crystal inside it,
Oh, the crystal. Because they decided to introduce Mega Evolution back in Gen 6 and was fucking cool and into it. And then they were like, but we can never do that again. So we need Dynamax and Gigantamax and Eternamax and VMaxing and fucking some other bullshit that I probably don't remember. The new bullshit is terrorizing or something, where they get a big stupid fucking hat and turn into gemstones.
oh,
Why don't they just
Stick with Mega Evolution?
extend mechanics more than one game?
Well, and that's what kind of ticks me off about it, because it's yeah, okay, it's the same fucking thing, but it's just a little different. Just stick with Mega Evolution. It was cool. They had a new form. It was balanced enough in the idea of you can only do it once per battle and it can only be one of your Pokemon kind of thing. But then even when they introduced Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing and Sword and Shield, they explicitly said oh, this is only an option in the Galar region because of how Pokemon exist in this region. So they out the gate said nah, this shit ain't coming back. It's fuck off, man. In this one, again, it's just gonna be relegated to this one. But the gimmick now is it seems to give them a sort of power up, but it changes their type. So if you have
That's interesting.
yeah, so if you have an Azumarill, right, who is water fairy, if they do the crystal bullshit that I can never remember the name of, suddenly now that Azumarill is a grass type or a fire type or an ice type, because it's not even just each Pokemon has its own set one, it's another random mechanic. So if you catch a Pokemon, their crystal type changes. Which is interesting to me because that adds a new little wrinkle. But if only they would fucking stick with a goddamn mechanic.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I even thought Mega Evolutions was a bit too far.
A lot of people
because
did.
it made everything it made it kind of cheap.
It's very anime.
Yeah, yeah.
This isn't my final form.
Exactly.
Anyway, I really like Pokemon, but welcome back to another episode of Crack Open a Cryptid.
Oh, nice.
Did that even crack?
A little bit.
It didn't fizz.
No.
Hang on.
Adrian? Oh. All right, so the lid didn't come off, but it made a good noise. Try it again.
It did. I did hear the noise.
There we go.
And I actually remembered to change my settings this week.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's hear it.
I'm so... Okay, can I tell you a story as I have
oh
to
my
cheat
God,
a little?
Lindsay, you fucking pussy.
Don't.
She's using a knife to open a pull tab.
No, look, I had a moment when I was very young where I first, I opened a Pepsi can with the pop top and I cut my hand.
Yeah, you don't
so
stick your
bad.
fucking finger in it.
No, the tab itself sliced my finger.
Sue Pepsi.
And ever since then, I've been a little pussy about it, okay? But now I have it, so shut up.
I see you're drinking one of the Simply Lemonades that we turned you on to last time.
Yes. So my girlfriend was here for the last couple weeks, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy us alcohol because she wants us to buy alcohol, and she doesn't drink a lot, and she really likes girly drinks.
Oh.
And you told us these were really good, so it was like,
You want girly
why
drinks?
don't we
You
get
hit my
these?
ass up. Like I fucking love
and they're
girly
delicious.
drinks. Oh, they're so good.
The melon, the watermelon's my favorite.
Mine's the blueberry. Speaking of blue as well, I have a I found more of the Mike's Hard Freeze ones that just taste like fucking ices, and I have the blue one again. It's so good.
Ooh.
And then I'm drinking this thing that you and Meg also put me on.
Yeah, it's not
last
Blue
week.
Moon.
It's not Blue Moon. It's like a local brewery, which
Yeah,
we're
Hangar
not going to
20
say the name.
I'm gonna say it. It's Hangar 24.
I was trying to get them to sponsor us, motherfucker. But yeah, it's this Hangar 24 orange wheat. It's Blue Moon, but
it's
slightly
local.
worse.
Yeah.
But like not by much.
Yeah.
Like I would buy
Like-
a sixer of this.
What when you say it's better, like what is your reasoning for, like, is it sweeter? Is it not as sweet?
Adrian's
is it more
just a
orangey?
fucking
Is it less?
slut for Blue Moon.
No, yeah, I love Blue Moon. Blue
I
Moon,
do love Blue Moon. I don't drink it
I actually
anymore.
prefer
It's
the
really too
Hanger
sweet
one.
now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. See, Blue Moon to me has like the perfect blend of like. Don't get me started on like describing beers, but like
I can see a mustache growing as
Yeah.
he talks.
Yeah, but like it's the perfect beer in my opinion. Like it has the perfect amount of hops, the perfect. I'm not gonna say anymore, but like the orange flavor boosts it so much. I love it so much.
Yeah, see, Hangar 24 isn't as hoppy, and that's why
It's
I
not
like
as
it.
hoppy.
I fucking
I
hate
would like
hops.
it better than Blue Moon then.
I'll tell
I
you,
despise hops.
I tell you one thing: Hangar 24 orange wheat, good. Blue Moon, good. Shock Top can
Absolute
eat my
trash.
ass.
Go fuck yourself, Shock
Have you
Top.
ever had the Leinenkugel summer shanties?
What the fuck did you just
I
say to me?
don't know what you're talking about.
Leinenkugel? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm gonna hold on.
Is this some like Arkansas backwoods
It's
bullshit?
Sounds
No,
like some
they
Arkansas.
they're everywhere. They're based out of Wisconsin.
Oh,
Hold on,
okay,
I'm
yeah, I'm
throwing
gonna
it-
drink a
Yeah.
fucking
I'm
Wisconsin
throwing it
lager.
into the podcast
All right,
channel.
fine, I'll fucking
I
look at it, but
consent
not
to cookies.
not because you told me to.
Also, before moving forward, I'm gonna show you. Does this look edible to you?
It looks like somebody fucked up making pumpkin seeds
So this is supposed to.
and then come on it.
Sorry, I just showed Tyler a. It's supposed to be homemade Rice Krispie treats.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, she's not gonna listen to this, but like it looks like somebody just like threw shit up. I wish I.
No.
Hang on, let me see if I could show you Lynn's through the. Because like she sent it to me as a story. So I can't really. Look at this.
It just looks like someone threw some Rice Krispie treats on a piece of aluminum foil, then kind of jizzed on it.
It looks like they jizzed on it, right? That's not just
Just
me.
a little bit, not
There's-
like an absurd
There-
amount.
there's like a little bit of a cummy texture around the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about cum, Lindsay?
I've been on the internet long enough. I know things.
Okay, so Lindsay sent me the link to fucking Leinenkugels. I've never seen a single one of these in my goddamn life.
But oh, they're great. They're great, refreshing summer things.
let's
But
check
I
the
have never
shop.
tried their Oktoberfest though.
Oh, I do.
I'd imagine
I
it's
like the
good.
Sam Adams Oktoberfest one.
I love Sam Adams seasonals. I will always drink them.
Okay, so I went to their shop, and the featured project is a canoe paddle. You're telling me this isn't some backwoods Arkansas bullshit? You're telling me they sell fucking this garbage in California and also are going to sell me a goddamn canoe paddle in the middle of fucking Los Angeles?
But I will find out. Can I get Google? I don't know how to fucking spell this thing.
Oh, but
Where
you're
can
the
I get-
expert.
Okay, so I've never heard of these.
Ever. I've never even seen this shit.
No.
Also, why did they steal the Dodgers logo?
So that's exactly what I was gonna
You can
say.
get it at Total Wine and More in Fresno, California. You can
I'm
get
not
it in
going to
Benvo.
Fresno.
Like-
Fuck you.
Yeah, no.
Fresno
I don't know.
ass bullshit.
Clovis, Folsom, Auburn.
These aren't real
Roseville,
cities.
Elk Grove.
Is it in
Citrus
Los Angeles
Heights,
or not?
Sacramento.
All right,
You think I'm going to Sacra goddamn Mento?
Lindsey.
I'm just
That's like a
going down the
6-hour drive.
You're highly. What am I trying to say?
You are not
You
Californian.
No. So like the rivalry between Southern and Northern California is
To my deathbed, I will take this.
yeah.
Fuck
Okay,
Sacramento.
wait. San
Look,
Diego,
honestly, everything from
Tarzana,
Fresno
Wine and
up to
Spirits
go.
in Long
All right,
Beach.
hold on. San Diego.
yeah.
San Diego's a dope city.
Well, she just said Long Beach, so sure.
I get
Yeah.
down with Long Beach. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Can I get him in Los Angeles? The only city that
zooming in.
matters in California.
Enhancing.
Look, Los Angeles, Riverside, Paris. I'll even take Paris.
You would go all the way to fucking Paris for that shit?
I mean, it's a new type of beer.
Plus, we could go to the lake. Ooh, actually, Adrian, let's do a lake getaway.
I'm so down.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah.
Do you have Bevmos or Total Wine and More? My map says you do.
Literally all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Then,
not the second
yeah,
one, but Bevmo, yeah.
Probably there.
Liar.
Because that was all the hits I got. Ralph's.
I'm not going to a fucking Ralph's. You think I'm made of money?
I see a Total Wine and More near where you live.
Okay.
Man.
All right. Fucking send me the link, bitch. I'll pick some up for next time.
All right, Tyler, what are we talking about?
Oh my god, that's right. We do a show. So last time, of course, we and the time before that, we talked about MK Ultra, which is just entirely fucked up.
Which I'd like to point out the coincidence that we talked about that.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I was finally convinced to watch Stranger Things.
And it's like
Because
all
I'm
about
that
it.
bitch. I'm that bitch who takes 10 years to watch something you recommend to me unless you say, but Lindsay, there's lesbians in it. Which I did
See,
kind of get that
Arcane.
reference. I did get that reference for later Stranger Things seasons. Anyway. But I started watching it, and like, yeah, they use MK Ultra for like lots of reasoning behind like everything.
Shit's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Shit is
But,
fucked up.
By the way, have you seen the latest season?
No, I haven't seen a single episode.
Dude, all right, you should get Meg to watch it if she hasn't already.
Really? Is it her jam?
Oh, dude.
I just watched Atlanta. I finished Atlanta, Donald Glover show.
I still haven't watched it.
You know what? It's really good.
Really?
Specifically, Adrian, I think you would enjoy. There are occasionally episodes that are filler episodes.
Yeah.
But like they have nothing to do with the main characters or the cast. They might not even like take place in the same quote unquote universe as the regular one.
Uh-huh.
But they're just like short films.
Oh.
And they're amazing.
Well, I know that the guy who does all the music videos for Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, he's the showrunner.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I mean, based off of his work doing that, like all of those music videos, I'm sure it'll be my jam.
It's a good show.
Because every single one of those music videos are bangers.
It's a good show. I like it a lot. But anyway, I wanted to not talk about something incredibly fucked up this time. I wanted to talk about something fun and lighthearted. How do you guys feel about aliens?
Fucking love them.
Yeah?
I love them. I would not fuck them.
Adrian?
Oh, I'd fuck every alien I came across.
He said I fucking love them, so I knew he meant it right out the gate.
Yeah.
He'd fucking love
I
him.
fucking love them, and I love fucking them.
Up top, brother. Let's go. Fuck yeah. All right. Agreed, by the way. You ever think they try to communicate with us?
Oh, is this another like fucking the radio towers bullshit?
Oh, the number stations?
yeah.
Those are still creepy to me, man. I don't care if I like researched it and found out like, yeah, no, it's just espionage shit. They're creepy.
That's creepy. That's scary.
Yeah, that's almost
That's
scarier.
yeah.
Well, today I wanted to talk about something, like I said, lighthearted. When was the last time you heard about crop circles?
Oh,
In Animal Crossing, when I got my Animal Crossing flooring that has crop circles in it.
Really?
what?
Yeah, there's a crop circles flooring in Animal Crossing, which I've been aggressively playing again. So yes.
All
I
right.
need to get back on that.
So I watch the movie Signs at least once a year.
Okay.
That's one of the
Really?
watch it again. It's actually very like
All right.
it's one of those movies. It's like The Thing and Predator, where when it came out, everyone was like
Like, what the fuck
shit
is
talking
this?
it.
Yeah.
But like it's actually a really good movie. I will fight anybody who says it's not. It's really good. It's really damn good.
And they do have a prominent feature in that movie.
And they do have a very prominent feature.
In fact,
that.
I saw the specific image of that crop circle so many goddamn times when I was
Yeah.
researching this, and it's like, can you show me a fucking real one?
Yeah.
Real. Well, crop circles, if you're not familiar, also go by the names crop formation or corn circle. They are a pattern, usually circular in nature, that seem to appear overnight in the fields of farmers. They're typically seen in fields growing cereal grains, which are things like corn, rice, wheat, that kind of thing. That being said, what's your favorite cereal? Not like grain, but like breakfast cereal.
Depends on the time of day. If I'm eating something for breakfast,
Interesting.
I will eat cornflakes because I don't like an overabundance of sugar first thing in the morning.
Okay, I respect that. I really respect that.
And it's very like bland and neutral, and I can enjoy my coffee without messing with the taste.
It is matter to put into your body for sustenance. Yeah, I get you.
And if it's for any other meal, it's a toss-up between like Fruity Pebbles
Nah,
No.
that ain't the play.
or Captain Crunch.
That's all right.
Wow.
So me and Lindsay are total opposites.
Yeah, you want the sugar boss in the morning.
Love
You're
sugar.
one of those fucking nasty asses who like cinnamon toast.
Oh, I
crunch,
love
huh?
sugar, just not first thing in the morning.
No.
I'm pretty sure you're made of sugar, like primarily. The rest of us are like 70% water. I think you're just sugar.
Maybe.
No, yeah. So like I fluctuate between cinnamon toast crunch,
Disgusting cereal, by the way.
Fruit Loops,
Enjoyable cereal.
and chocolate Rice Krispies.
I don't like any Rice.
Oh
Krispies.
no! Sorry, chocolate. The Cocoa Pebbles. Sorry.
Cocoa Pebbles. Oh,
But you're not that far off from me. If I'm gonna have a chocolate based, it's gonna be Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
See, for me, because I'm with Lindsay, with like in the morning, I don't want anything too crazy. Honey Nut Cheerios will do. There's enough taste to it for me to be like, that sure is food, but not enough for me to be like, I'm gonna wake up now. Any other time of the day, I want a cup of dry Frosted Flakes.
What?
Really? If I have something dry, I'll eat Honey Nut Cheerios.
Well, wait, okay, I've been doing this since I was a little fucking kid, and you guys know about this. I have a problem with textures of foods.
Yeah.
Like, the taste doesn't matter to me as much as the texture does. It makes me want to fucking gag.
No, I kind of get that because like avocados,
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
I'm in California, and I hate avocados.
Same.
I don't get it. And you have even less of an excuse because you're Mexican.
Yeah, I know.
You guys brought them here.
Yeah, I know. I hate
Well,
avocados.
actually, we stole here from you.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I hate avocados and I hate flan specifically because of the textures.
Flan is weird.
Flan, I can't get. Yeah,
I don't even
want
want to touch it.
Yeah, everybody loves flan. I just can't.
You know what you motherfuckers do that's delicious, though?
What?
Hit me with some of that tres leche any day.
Oh, dude. Whenever,
Oh, my God.
Whenever you want me to bring tres leches,
Oh, my
let me know.
God, yes.
Like, I make it. I know how
It's
to
like
make it.
tiramisu, but I don't have to fuck with coffee.
Yeah.
I think our very first and singular only visual podcast should be one of those like streams where people eat. Like you remember
Oh,
how much
mukbang.
that
Yeah,
whole
mukbang.
fad?
Yeah, it's a mukbang.
Yeah.
They're still huge.
Yeah. They're still huge. I haven't heard about them in
yeah.
a while, so I
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't really. Yeah, no, we just get together and we gorge, and somewhere
Dude,
statistically
I-
speaking is probably jacking off.
Hell yeah.
What if that someone is in the podcast?
Bro, if
though?
you are jacking off to this podcast right now, leave a comment. I want to know. I'm not going to shame you, but I'm not going to encourage it either. I just want to know. But
You
yeah,
know we've made it to the big leagues if someone's jacking off to our podcast.
oh hell yeah. Jeremy's not on it anymore though, so I mean like who are they going to be jacking it to, you know?
That's
That's a
true.
shame.
That's
I hope he's
true.
I hope he's jacking it up in space, you know? Cuz he's a space
Yeah,
pirate.
no,
I don't know
remember.
if you remember the bit.
I remember.
I mean
that.
the actual true
No,
story.
yeah, I was there during takeoff.
Yeah, you're the one who cracked the
Oh.
bottle on the ship. But no, yeah, I've had this thing with texture my entire life. I don't really like cereal in milk because I have to like eat it super fast before it gets soggy and weird. So I've always liked having dry cereal and a cup of milk.
Oh, it's like that girl in Get Out.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But yeah, that's my jam. I also like not Cocoa Pebbles but Cocoa Puffs. There's a little bit of a saltiness to them
Okay.
that I like.
No, I like Cocoa Puffs too. The only thing is that I've found in my studies, those are the ones that tend to get soft the quickest.
Yeah, see, I eat them dry.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not a problem for you.
Exactly correct. Anyway, what's your favorite cereal grain? You got corn, you got wheat, you got rice, you got barley,
Rice.
I guess.
and a fifth one probably.
I guess it's wheat. I don't No.
I'm going with corn. I love me some corn, baby. Love me some corn. Now, the crop circles you likely know of are from the late 1900s. But what's weird that I found here is that the origin of patterns appearing in crop fields dates back to at least the 17th century, which is way further back than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Because the one very important quality about crop circles is you can't really tell what it is unless you have an aerial view. So,
well, it's like a Nazca lines situation.
Exactly. And so you need this aerial view to be able to understand what you're even looking at. So I always imagined that these couldn't have been possible, really, or like noticed at least, because people didn't have that kind of aerial view of most fields.
Yeah.
But in the 17th century, reports came in somewhat sparsely. They were reported on in pamphlets from the 1880s, up to letters from the astronomer Patrick Moore in the 1960s. Specifically, Australia had a huge spike in crop circles in the mid to late 1960s. But they didn't really get famous crop circles until the early 70s when they started to be spotted in England and subsequently America. Now, there are 4 major qualities that are always the same with crop circles that you need to understand. They show up overnight, like just out of nowhere. They're just suddenly there. They weren't there yesterday. They are today. No 2 are exactly the same. They're always a different pattern. And they are formed either by flattening or cutting the crop. Some people believe that cutting the crop makes it not a legitimate crop circle and only flattening does. But there are cases where they are cut and not flattened. And like I said earlier, they are only visible from high up. So what are they? When you think of a crop circle, what do you think of immediately?
Aliens.
Lindsay?
But now I can't say that because then it's just gonna make it look like I'm copying Adrian.
That's all right. He's
You
a
could say-
trendsetter.
Yeah.
He was
How do
into
you
the
say
Cubs.
aliens backwards? Oh my god, let me try that again. How do you say aliens backwards?
Adrian was into the Cubs before they even won the World Series. He's a trendsetter.
Oh, yeah. Literally since birth, and now they're still bad, so.
Yeah, but they did win that one
They
time.
did win, yeah, in 2016. Yeah.
The exact date. Do you know the exact date?
It's October... Was it October 15th?
Correct him if he's wrong, boys. And also start jacking off.
Wait, so I had to write out aliens so I could see how to pronounce it backwards, right? Because I'm a visual person, and I just typed it into my Google bar real quick.
It's like
And
Sneela.
the first thing, Sneela is what I would say, yes.
Yeah.
The first search result is aliens in my cereal. So we were just talking about cereal.
Isn't that
Coincidence?
Isn't that a book series? That
don't know,
evoked something deep in the recesses of my
It
mind.
is a movie. Aliens for Breakfast was
Yes,
a movie in
yeah.
1994.
Oh my god, Aliens for Breakfast, Aliens for Lunch, Aliens for Dinner. I read that shit when I was a little kid.
Yep, paperback books.
Oh, that came from out of nowhere, dude. You evoked something
The aliens
deep.
are communicating with you. It was meant to be.
By the way, so Lindsay, it is currently 90 degrees in California.
Oh yeah, go turn
Are
on
you
the
going to
fan.
ask me what terrible weather it is here?
Oh yeah, what temperature is
what,
it there?
what,
It's loading.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's 86, but feels like 99.
What is
Okay,
ours?
well.
We don't get the feel like.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
ours is-
constantly like this.
Yeah, because ours is usually really dry. When we get humidity, it's the only thing anybody can talk about, but nobody knows the like. Oh, that makes it feel hotter. I thought it was just I felt gross, and it's like no, it just fucking sucks. You know what? In this heat wave, I've not had a single nosebleed though, and I'm very prone to nosebleeds during like dry heats.
That's weird. Oh, but
That's not weird. That's normal. Fuck you.
But yeah, if you hear a noise in the background, I just turn on the fan, and it's gonna stay on for like the rest of this and probably next episode.
Yeah. So if you have a problem with that, much like Shock Top, you can eat our ass.
well, no, don't do that, because like there's some people that enjoy it. That like
If you're
you know,
into
eating
eating
ass.
asses, you can only watch while we get our ass eat. You can't actually eat it.
Okay, but like, what if that someone is me?
That's fine.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want. You're on the show. You have unprecedented power. A system
Do
to
I?
shape however you want.
Fuck, I'm trying to remember what the next line
I don't
is.
know it either.
No, it's the Virginians emerged with the nation's cap. No.
With the nation's capital, and
No,
here's
no,
the
no,
piece
but
de
there-
resistance.
Yeah. There was
No
something
one else was
before
in the
that.
room where it happened. The room where it happened. That's my favorite song in the whole fucking show.
Yeah.
My God, in God we trust.
But we never really knew what got discussed. Click,
Boom, where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened.
Watch Hamilton.
Watch
if you
Hamilton.
haven't.
It's so fucking enjoyable. I love
I
quoting
was
it.
so close to seeing Hamilton when I was visiting you guys. After
Oh, yeah, that's
I
true.
left your
Yeah.
and Meg's apartment,
You told me about this.
my friend almost took me. Yeah.
Oh wow, that
We
would have been
couldn't get tickets.
so.
Yeah, what a fucking
Mad.
surprise. Nobody can.
I actually might get tickets to Hamilton if you're down.
That's wild. How much do I have to pay? Like $8,000?
No. I'll pay it. Just come with me.
Fuck yeah, I'm in then.
Like I'm going to watch Hadestown next week and Moulin Rouge in 2 days.
Wow.
I paid for all those tickets, not asking for anything in return. Just come with me.
You fucking dork.
Yeah.
But yeah, so aliens or Sneals is typically, I think, what people think when we talk about crop circles, and there's a reason for that, which we'll get to later. Because some of the earlier ideas of what crop circles are based in magic and mysticism. It's believed that the initiated could read the patterns in crop circles like a language, and it would give them insight into the life energy of the world.
All right. So this very much sounds like that Denis Villeneuve film, Arrival.
Dune.
No, well, also Dune. No. Have you watched Arrival?
No. I've seen
So-
Dune.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Arrival is literally about aliens arriving and they have a language. I mean, I'm gonna spoil the entirety of Arrival right now.
Is this the movie where like the kids go to like the different planet at
No.
the end? What's that one?
I
Is
actually
that Knowing? Am I thinking
that's
Knowing?
knowing. That is
Okay.
knowing. No,
I get
no,
them
no.
all confused.
No, this is one where we send linguists to try to the entire movie is them trying to decipher what they're trying to say with their language.
Okay.
But their language is literally circles.
Mhm.
And if you know how to read it, you're able to see time linearly,
Okay, we do see time.
or not
linearly.
linearly. I mean non-linearly,
Okay.
as in you could see the end and the beginning, and it all kind of loops together.
Circularly,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's super
cyclically, probably.
It's super weird, but this is what this is reminding me of.
Now, what's funny is that is a theory, and we
Yeah.
will get to that. But this is just mysticism. This is not aliens at all that people are saying.
Uh-huh.
They believe that these formations were created by Mother Earth to show her anguish and warn of ecological disaster that would then result in impending doom for humanity. And just because they're right about the climate disaster and impending doom doesn't mean that they're right about crop circles. Later theories would look into stuff that...
Hang on, I think Lindsay wants to say something.
Oh, yeah, go on, Linz.
I was gonna say what's the saying? Even a clock is right 2 times a day.
Oh, yeah, even a broken clock is right twice
Even
a
a
day.
broken clock. Yeah.
There's a dumber one that boomers say where it's even a blind squirrel can find 2 nuts or something like that, and they're just talking about it. It's talking about his testicles.
Grabbing his ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
nuts.
was not as clever.
Yeah, it's a weird one, and it's like you just wanted to talk about nuts.
I've never heard of that one before.
My dad would say it all the time, and it's like, what the fuck are you on about, man? Just say the clock one. Jesus Christ. But later theories, like most of the stuff we talk about on here, eventually lead into more scientific explanations, but are still wildly conspiratorial. You have to remember, this was from the 60s to the 90s mostly. This was the era in the 60s between World War II and the Cold War. Shit was weird, right? This is when UFO sightings stuff skyrocketed from the 50s to the 80s. So it should come as no surprise that people here were theorizing about the fact that these were markings left by advanced prototype weaponry. For example, think of the Bifrost in the Thor movies.
Yeah.
How it leaves the imprint on the ground.
Yeah.
They're saying this is a weapon and that's the imprint
That's
it
the
leaves on the
imprint.
ground.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
See,
gotcha.
I've heard the theory that it's not a weapon, but that's what what UFOs leave when they take off.
And almost the exact thing I wrote next is, and obviously, likely the most known theory is alien spacecraft, but we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
minute. I wanted to break this one down sort of like I did with the zombies one, but not a 2-parter, where we're going to talk about the ancient mystical and then the modern scientific ideas, right?
Uh-huh.
So as for the mystical ideas and the fact that it's Mother Earth and whatnot, we need to talk about ley lines. Now, Lindsay, I know you're at least familiar with the concept of ley lines because a video game we play frequently
Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, Guild Wars 2. It's a great game. They're shit at advertising, but try it. It's free. Ley lines are a wildly important part of the plot in that game. But Adrian, I'm not sure if you're familiar with ley lines.
So here's the thing. If you would have asked me like a month ago, I probably would have said yes. Because I do remember that word coming up very often in something that I wanted to talk about, but like for whatever reason, we like never did that episode.
Do you remember what it was on?
I don't even remember.
Weird.
But I remember I did the whole research, and then you were like, oh, actually, Adrian, just don't do that anymore. We're just going to do a 2-parter on, like, the most depressing shit you've ever heard.
Yeah.
So, like, it's lost of time
that
now.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Now, ley lines as a concept in the real world were developed in the early 20th century Europe when historians and cartographers alike noticed that most historic structures and prominent landmarks seem to follow certain patterns. You can, and this is real, you can easily draw a straight line from one place to another, from like a historic structure or a prominent landmark, whatever. You can draw a straight line on a map from one to the other. And interestingly, you'll hit a fuck ton of other important landmarks along the way on that line. This includes structures like Stonehenge in England and its other, and like the other stone formations, because you don't know there's a fuck ton of like Stonehenges, but they're just called other shit, but they're all around England. The pyramids in Egypt are a huge focal point on these. Most of the ancient Greek structures are of importance, and of course, loads and loads of crop circles, which is why we're going to talk about this. Almost every single unexplained crop circle has appeared on a known ley line.
Huh.
The ley lines present themselves in one of 3 ways, depending on what community you ask about them. The first depictions show them as straight lines that crisscross the earth in a set geometric pattern. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a while, because what's weird about this pattern is if you took where the ley lines met up, you know, where like all lines meet up,
Yeah.
it turns the earth into a giant D20.
Huh.
And that's like an important thing because you know the Bermuda Triangle?
Is that 20? Is that like...
It's not 20, but it's one of the points. And there's a bunch of other Bermuda Triangle-esque things across the world known as the jovial vortices. But the most known, obviously, is the Bermuda Triangle because that's like the only one people like frequently travel through.
I don't remember what episode this was brought up on, but you definitely brought this up before, the Isle of Vertices.
Yeah, I've definitely mentioned the jovial vortices. Well, what's weird about them is they're all placed on these points that would be like the spikes of the D20. Like if you imagine D20 and then like shaved it down to be a sphere, then you have the Earth kind of thing, and the jovial vortices are where the points were.
That's crazy.
It is weird. It's one of those things where every time I come across it, I'm like, I'm not going to internalize that right now. That's fucking, I can't handle that. Now, other ley line models account for the Earth's curvature and instead show crisscrossing curved lines similar to the intersecting sine and cosine waves, if you remember from your like high school algebra classes. Then the third, and one that Lindsey and I are the most familiar with for sure, they're still straight lines, but they have no designated pattern. Instead, they are merely connectors between naturally formed hotspots of energy and make a web of lines rather than something like a grid. Okay. So there will be like big hotspots of energy. So, for example, in Guild Wars 2, the ley lines in that universe are literally like the veins of the planet, but with magic coursing through them. And that magic is...
that felt weird.
What'd you do? Oh, did you get a text while your phone was on your nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Anyways.
But the ley lines are pure magic that move like veins throughout the planet and let magic exist in the world, right? And so wherever there's a concentration of magic, which is found in like all living things, you'll see a hotspot. And there's a few times in the game where we see like a map of like the main area that we're in, and we see the hotspots, and they're like all the major cities. And then a big part of the game is the dragons, these like ancient forces of nature are waking up and we have to kill them.
Yeah.
There's a couple spots where it's like we know where some of the dragons are slumbering, and oops, there's a ley line hotspot, and oops, there's another one. And then we always knew that there was like a water dragon far to the south just because there was a dot out there in the middle of the fucking ocean. And we were all just like, what the fuck is that? We only recently, after like what, how long has the game been out? Since like 2012?
It's been out for like almost. this will be its 10th anniversary.
Yeah, so after like 10 years, we finally actually got to that one, and it was like, oh shit, we were right. So that's the one that Lindsey and I are more familiar with, but it is weirdly the Fringe. From what I could tell, like the Fringe ley line idea. But that is generally the one that we're going to be talking about here rather than the crisscrossing one. Because that is, as much as it's the Fringe conspiracy theory, it is the most realistic one. Well, the concept of ley lines were never actually accepted by historians. The discovery of the ley lines, I just think is fascinating. These were first seen in England by an antiquarian named Alfred Watkins. He surmised that these lines must have been ancient English trading routes because he was looking at specifically the Isle of England, you know?
Yeah.
And he would notice that there are spots where like early towns are being set up. And then he would draw a line to another early town and he would find other towns and other landmarks across that line.
Yeah.
So he surmised that these must have been trading routes, that things were set up along this way because they were trade routes, right? The problem is when he wrote his book on this in the 1920s called The Old Straight Track to show his finding to historians, they, of course, pointed out that these trading routes would have sent caravans through rough terrain like hills, mountains, and forests, which just isn't likely, especially in ancient days. Why fuck around with going over a mountain when you can just go around it?
Yeah.
Or just not bother at all. So they never really accepted his findings, and he was furious about it and kept writing about it until he fucking died. But at the same time that he was discovering this in the 1920s, with no communication between them, a bunch of German eyes were on the same thing, except they weren't looking at England. They were looking at Europe as a whole, and they found the same lines that Watkins did that traveled all throughout Europe as well, from England to Europe, all across the continent. Now, they took a slightly different route instead of trying to find like, oh yeah, because like I can totally see how it'd be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. They're trade routes, you know. That is a reasonable thought. They took a less historical stance, opting instead to denote these lines at the, and forgive me, Germans, the Heilige Linien, or Holy Lines.
Okay, I already butchered Leinenkugel, which I'm assuming is a German name. So.
So these were the first group to attribute magical qualities to them, saying that they were holy lines. Weirdly, the best description I can think of is, Adrian, you played Elden Ring, right?
Of course I did.
You remember when you would touch the sites of grace and there would be those like little like guiding lights, I forget what they called them, to lead you to other sites of grace and like along the line? That's almost exactly what they said ley lines were.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, which is like, okay, all right. But it makes sense in Elden Ring because you can fucking use magic in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I ain't ever seen one son of a bitch throw a lightning bolt in the real world.
I've been watching, I've never played Elden Ring, and you could not pay me enough to play a Soulsborne game because I would get enraged until within 10 minutes.
That's
Less
fair.
than that,
Okay,
5
that's
minutes.
fair, yeah.
But I watched these cute little cartoons about it, and I love the theme song, and I've seen people like stream it. And we were listening to the badass opening song, this last week. It's so good. How do you compose such a fucking epic song?
Just such a
And
banger.
you don't even have to leave the menu.
Bangers up
Yeah,
and down, dude.
yeah.
All throughout.
Lindsey, how much would I have to actually, how much money would I have to pay you to play the first Dark Souls game?
Does she have
You'd
to
have
beat
to
it?
purchase it for me, number one.
I will purchase it for
It's
you.
like $10.
It's not, yeah.
And two, I don't know. I'll have to think of that. You don't understand. I hate that kind of gameplay.
I would
like
love to
the
sit in
Star
a
Wars
Discord
game
call with
kind
you.
of copied
No,
it,
like,
but it was easy.
I would actually love to watch that. Cause like,
Am I gonna have a solo piece on Cryptid co-op of just like
Oh my god,
that would
yes.
be great.
2
Yeah.
hours of Lindsey raging through the very first boss of Dark Souls?
Yeah. Well, I don't even.
To be fair, I think you'd do fine on the first one.
Like, who was the first one?
Fucking Asylum Demon.
Oh yeah, no, he's easy.
The first hard boss. Let's say that.
The second
gargoyles.
boss. Yeah, fuck. No,
Well, no, the second one is Taurus
no.
Demon.
Taurus Demon.
He's easy. You climb up and you jump on his fucking head.
Okay, but
And then
like,
he's dead.
I didn't know that I could jump up.
Oh, you pussy.
and like do that.
Lindsey,
I
I'll
actually
guide
wanna
you
put try-
through it because
yeah.
I think Dark Souls is kind of mid. Yeah, I fucking said it, but
Well-
I can guide you through it.
The things I would have played, Ghost of Tsushima, because I think
I've
that
not-
gameplay looks way cooler. But
not-
I would
Okay,
also
but-
get infuriated.
But here's the thing: Ghost of Tsushima isn't a Soulsborne game.
Are you thinking of Sekiro, or are you specifically
Sekiro, yeah, Sekiro Shadows Die
Okay.
Twice. Sorry, wrong samurai game.
Yeah, right.
That
You
came
would-
out within the same
You
year.
would be the
remember
first
seeing-
person to
Yeah,
like,
seeing them at
yeah.
the same conference when they were both like
Yeah.
announced. I thought I was seeing the same the game for the
You
same
know,
trailer
okay,
for the same
Sekiro
game.
I wanted to try, but I would get mad at that. I also wanted to
big
try
snake.
Bloodborne.
I like
but
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne
Bloodborne's
is
the best
apparently
one.
the hardest of the Soulsborne games.
I don't know
It's
about
the
that.
best one.
It is the best one.
It's
It,
the
it
best
actually
one
has
by
like
far.
cool mechanics, unlike Dark Souls. It has cool mechanics. It's just that the problem is the one mechanic Dark Souls has that I like about like the replenishing Estus flask is just not in Bloodborne.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
sucks.
fucking stupid.
Yeah,
It's potentially coming to PC soon, so that's neat.
it is coming to PC soon.
Was it confirmed coming to
I
PC?
thought it was.
I know Sony said like we're gonna put all our exclusives up, but you know
They put Persona on PC. Of course, they're gonna put Bloodborne at some point.
Oh man. Anyway,
Well,
later.
I will get the most recent Sony exclusive when Spooderman comes to PC.
Dude, that game is so fucking good.
Or actually, Lindsay, play Persona.
Okay,
no,
Lindsay, do you
see,
want to sink
wait,
220
wait,
hours
wait,
into a
wait.
game?
Wait.
Okay, but
Do you want to fuck a high schooler, or as a high schooler,
Now,
fuck your
I have-
teacher?
or the clinic lady,
No, that one's cool though.
Clinic Lady, you can fuck.
Yeah, and she's hot as hell.
or the
And she
alcoholic
wants to
lady.
fuck you.
I know,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, it's great. Or the alcoholic reporter.
Her menu is doing the
Oh, when she like kicks up her legs.
yeah,
like
and
this?
like it turns into like a silhouette graphic, but you know if it wasn't, you would see straight up her skirt, and you just start sweating.
yeah,
Look, so a friend of mine when Persona 5 was it Royale?
Royal.
Royal, yeah.
Royal. So when
Persona
that
4 was
came
Golden.
out, we all sat in a Discord for like a week straight and watched him play through it the entire way through. And at the majorest of the plot twists, do you know what I'm talking about toward the later part of the game?
There's like three
there's
of
a
them.
ton of them.
Where he's like in
Okay,
the
yes.
interrogation
Yeah.
room.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and I walked away in a blind rage from that PC, and I said, "That can't be the end of the game."
There's still like
And
60 hours after that.
and like all of us who hadn't played it before were like so invested.
I remember I actually had to look that cutscene up again later because I was like, wait, what the fuck did they just do? I did not get it first time around.
Really?
Yeah, because I think I was getting to like the fatigue point where I was like, oh
Oh.
my god, I know.
Yeah,
We're 180 hours in. Let me die. And then I was like, oh,
yeah, yeah. I could play that game for like 500 hours more, honestly.
it's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Anyways, ley lines.
Ley lines. So Germans thought they were holy lines. Watkins in England thought they were trade routes. Both were wrong. And both concepts were dropped for about 40 years. But later in the 1960s, notice it's the 60s again, a counterculture movement known as Earth Mysteries picked up the idea once more. Notice that this is right around when crop circles started to begin again in the modern era, right? Now, Earth Mysteries believe that these lines were not trade routes or natural holy markers, but instead, what do you think ley lines are used for? This is not part of the script, but what do you think ley lines are used for?
Lindsay, go first.
Are we talking like, what do we think the aliens use them for? Or like, do we think there is a logistical, real scientific purpose to track ley lines?
Either.
Okay.
If someone asked you, what are ley lines used for? How would you respond? Just like a regular person, assuming they're real.
Adrian, you go first.
No, I already said Lindsay go first.
No.
All right, so like my mind immediately goes because. All right, you should have watched the latest season of Stranger Things by now. It's been out for like 3 months at this point. So in that show, the latest season, I'm sorry for anybody who doesn't know what's going on.
Finn Wolfhard is in it.
He is.
knew
So
it.
in the latest season, Vecna,
What
yes,
the
from
fuck?
D&D fame.
No, I was about to say from fucking like that sounds like a Kingdom Hearts character.
You play D&D. You don't know who Vecna is?
No, I do, but I thought you said Vexna at first.
Oh, yeah. No.
And there was the X, and I was like, it's Xehanort!
These nuts!
Ah, got him!
So
Yeah,
Vecna's
the-
going around killing folks, and each one is like laying like a marker, and like at the end they like crisscross and like. Well, I mean, I'm sorry.
Does
if
it
I'm
make a
ruining
pentagram?
No. It forces an event to happen, but they like turn into lines and they all meet up, and each one of those points like it. I'm assuming
You're literally describing ley lines. She activated ley lines.
Yeah. So like it's used as like a form of travel. I will say
okay,
that
so
much.
so it's like planeswalking is what you're trying to get at.
Yes.
Interesting. And wrong. Lindsay?
I mean, I figured, but
I mean, do they coincide with any existing fault lines?
No, but that is an interesting concept. I did not see any of that, but that is interesting.
I would have thought similar to a they
The
would share
tectonics,
some
yeah.
kind of tectonic plate border. Yeah.
Even if they did, wrong. Earth Mysteries concluded that these were used to guide alien spacecraft.
okay. See, that was my next guess.
Yeah, was it, buddy?
Well,
Now-
what if the aliens were? What if the aliens were so smart? Why do they need ley lines to track their own movement?
I'm so fucking glad you said that.
Well, also,
Because this has been pissing me off for like a week and a half.
also, like, why the fuck do they need that? Their ships supposedly could like change direction at will. Why do they need
Yeah.
any type of track or
See,
guide?
I want to
at
go
all?
even further back and even simpler than that. These motherfuckers got in a saucer and flew from a different part of the galaxy through the endless vacuum of space to our pebble of a planet. And you're telling me they don't have like a fucking GPS?
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking serious? You're telling me that they flew across the goddamn galaxy, came here, and they relied on stupid little hairless apes to be like, oh, yeah, you see, you're going to take a left at Mount Rushmore, and then once you get there, you're going to take a right and head straight to Lake Victoria. And once you get there, it's going to be just a little bit of like a little turn, just like not turn left, but like bare left, and then you'll be at Stonehenge, okay? Are you fucking serious?
What was the name of these dudes again?
Earth Mysteries.
Earth Mysteries. Okay. Well, I mean,
Solved. Case closed.
yeah.
Pisses me off.
I mean, so these guys, like, you say Earth Mysteries, I hear something akin to the Flat Earth movement.
Right. This is a counterculture movement, by the way.
Sorry, they are the fart movement.
Yep, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, of course, obviously this leads to aliens because it's an episode by me, and I love aliens, and also they're clearly aliens. Now, these are not fucking like those people with the flashlights at an airport type shit. That ain't what this is. We're going back to crop circles. They end up on ley lines, right? Many believe that the crop circles are formed by aliens, either like Adrian was saying in Arrival, that it's their own language that the aliens are writing and they're attempting to communicate with us, or they are markings left by spacecrafts when they either land or take off. And there are, strangely, a lot of different ideas of what happens when a ship lands or takes off. I don't know why this is like a point of contention in the alien community. It's a fucking ship and it stops moving and then it starts moving. I don't know why we need to talk about it so much, but apparently this is very important. There is one thing that I do want to discuss in a later episode, which is the angel hair phenomena, where and this is a real fucking thing. Wherever there's been reports of like alien spacecraft landing, there's this weird substance that is found where they thought they landed, and they people call it angel hair. It's very strange. I do want to get into that later.
I bet. Are you listening, Earth Mysteries? It's alien jizz that was left over from the guy who was watching the anchor.
Hilariously,
He's like, oh shit! I gotta go. We're taking off.
hilariously, it is very jizzy in nature, the substance.
Did I not
Like,
call it?
It is pretty jizzy in nature. But for crop circles, again, much like the Bifrost, some believe that the circles are a result of the ship's propulsion method, leading to these strange but generally symmetrical shapes when launching from places like crop fields. There are concepts that the way alien spacecraft move is that they okay. This is a little weird and confusing, but it is, like, I think the most widely accepted one. We obviously launch ships into space using a combination of solid fuel and liquid fuel, right? Solid fuel that just burns up to launch us out of the atmosphere because it's hard to get out, and then the liquid fuel to make different, like, changes while in space. And then we don't really land that much. We have a hard time landing. That's like a modern thing.
Well, we don't land. We crash.
Exactly. But it's only recently that we started landing ships like humans have. Aliens, on the other hand, because they're far more advanced creatures, there's a couple ideas of how they work. We've actually drawn up schematics and diagrams of what we believe could be a faster than light engine. It's just that we don't have the means to make it right now. And it's called the EM drive, electromagnetic drive.
Okay.
When you're in space, right, zero gravity, in a vacuum, anything you do has infinite propulsion, infinite momentum, right? If you're in space and you push off of a solid object, you will fly forever until you hit something, or like a different gravitational pull. Some outside force pulls you in. So when we're talking about fuel, obviously, I mean, you've driven a vehicle before. Fuel is finite. So one of the things for space travel is it has to be infinite. There are ideas of using solar power, but eventually you'll be between stars, so you can't really use that because it'll be too far away. So the EM drive uses electromagnetic pulses that it generates and blasts out, because that is such a minuscule amount of, like, push force, but it doesn't matter because you're in a vacuum. It suddenly becomes infinite pushing force. So if we can just send out a wave of those, like a burst of them, you could potentially move an object faster than light because there's nothing to stop it. That is our current human idea of what we could do for a faster than light engine, but again, we don't have the means to make one right now. Alien theorists say that what they do is that they generate their own gravitational field. So gravity, obviously, if you are dropped from a plane high up in Earth's atmosphere, gravity is going to pull you towards the Earth. You are falling. So what these gravitational engines supposedly do is they put a small gravitational field around the craft, but then shift the field so that when the craft is moving forward, like when we think of it moving forward, that's actually it, quote unquote, falling.
Well, this was on the Bob Lazar episode.
Exactly correct.
Yeah,
we talked
that,
about
like
this.
that. Like if you look at ships like the Navy, the footage that got
from
released to
the
the public, like it's not flying like perpendicular. It's kind of flying like belly up.
Yes, because it is quote unquote falling. Because
Yeah.
the gravitational field that it is making is literally not pushing it, but pulling it, kind of idea. It's a weird concept. It's hard to, like, visualize, I think, but that is a thing. So if we suddenly shifted gravity in the middle of a cornfield, it makes sense that the crops would flatten. If we send out electromagnetic drive, if you do a big enough burst of them, they could flatten. And that's the taking off idea that it does that. The other concept is just like when it fucking lands, that's just what the ship is shaped like, which is so much easier to understand. It is so much simpler. These aren't smooth saucers. They just look like that from a distance. But when they land, they have these weird shapes, and it's just making an indent in the crops looking like the pattern, right? Now, the locations of these circles tend to be important as well, being close to landmarks previously thought to be alien in origin. Do you guys, can you think of any, like, structure or landmark that people have theorized, like, oh, aliens made this?
I mean, I know for a fact Stonehenge, but
We
like,
can stop talking.
yeah,
To this day, most crop circles appear in England. Roughly 30 per year have been reported, and there was 30 in 2021 alone, which was honestly a slow year for the phenomenon. So there's at least 30 per year popping up in England, and around 80% of all crop circles that appear in England are in Wiltshire, England, which is the city that houses Stonehenge. And people have been seeing UFOs there for fucking centuries. It would make sense, right, for if there's some importance that Stonehenge has to like alien life, it makes sense that they're going to land next to Stonehenge, do their business, and then leave. So if these are formed by the landing or taking off of ships, it makes sense that they're all around this sort of like UFO hub.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's trying to explain that. There are places like the pyramids, but there's not a lot of like crop fields near the pyramid, so of course that's not going to show up. If they landed in the sand dunes, that gets blown over in like a fucking hour.
Yeah.
This is one of the only real places we can look to be like, that is a site that UFOs are constantly seen at, so it makes sense that these would be here if they are related, right? But as for the theories of the circles being a written language, we actually have seen some translatable formations in the past. Occasionally, we'll find a crop circle that resembles a known shape or mathematical formula. This includes in 1996 and 2001, where there were depictions of a Julia set. In 2008, a geometric representation of the first 10 digits of pi appeared. And even a formation in May of 2020 depicting a model of the coronavirus, which is like, that's fucking weird, because that's only just when they like were able to model the coronavirus. Right. So obviously, like, it's a hoax, it's made by people, but someone would have to have seen that article and like that fucking night gone out and made it.
Honestly, if I knew how to make those,
I
would do that.
Oh yeah, I'd fuck with people on this.
I mean, like, if they're already going to that trouble of like making the crop circle, you might as well hard commit to stuff that.
and tons of crop circles are just like fractals, you know, they're just fractals.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's all bullshit. It's a hoax.
Yeah.
In 1991, two men by the names of Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley, spelled Chorley, Chorley, what a horrible name for a human, made headlines by claiming that they were the first creators of the famous English crop circles back from 1978, and they told news journalists that they did it really easily. They carried a simple tool that they made from a plank of wood, rope, and a baseball cap that was fitted with a loop of wire. They would use this tool by each holding one end and walking across the field, and this would bend the wheat as they walked. To prove that this was them, to prove they invented the crop circle, they performed this feat and made a crop circle in front of a group of journalists and then went and hid. Them and the journalists went and hid. They called in a sorologist, which is a crop circle expert, named Pat Delgado. Pat was not aware of the stunt, not aware of the journalists, not aware of the two men. They were only told that there was a crop circle appeared and they needed Pat to verify the authenticity of it. After investigating the circle, Pat declared that it was in fact authentic, thus proving that the men could, at the very least, trick crop circle experts. And this was enough for most journalists to be like, I mean, yeah, then I guess it's got to be them, right? Now, Bauer and Chorley claim responsibility for roughly 200 circles between 1978 and 1991, but they do not claim any circles that appeared prior or any of the thousands of other circles that were made in that time period and after.
See, that was going to be my question, because, I mean, if these things have been appearing for, like, centuries, or, like, you know, decades, whatever, like, I mean, because I knew about these two guys, but who made them before? How did they know how to make it?
And that's an interesting thing, because they specifically said that they were inspired by the crop circles that were appearing in the 1960s in Australia, but they have no fucking idea who or what made those.
Okay.
So even they're like, I don't fucking know. They're cool though, right? Today, crop circles serve two purposes, right? Ever since the 1990s, they've been used for alternative methods of advertising or even just avant-garde art projects. People would just make them because they're fucking neat.
Yeah, and they are.
Yeah, and of course the other thing is we don't know where most of them came from. We assume they're made from people, but the thing is, most people, after they make the crop circle and do like the whole news cycle, will be like, that was me, you fucking bozos. I made that crop circle. Or when it's like an advertisement, they're like, you can go to like, I think it's like cropcircles.org or something. It's this company who just makes them for advertisements. People usually claim them.
Yeah.
So it's weird that most of them are unclaimed.
I mean,
why would you go through the trouble of making it without being like, yeah, it was me?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's true. Also, it also kind of like it reminds me of the Nazca lines.
Yeah.
Where like before air travel even was possible, like why were people making these things?
Those ones are almost more interesting to me though, because those are wildly ancient compared to these.
Yeah, but even like these, like, you know, I mean, who's gonna be flying a helicopter over rural Mississippi or wherever
Yeah.
the fuck these things are?
Well, especially the ones from the 17th century, like I was saying earlier, like that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Again, cool formations. I mean, 99% of the ones that are made now are hoaxed. I mean, it's very obvious. But it's
a business model now.
Yeah. But it does, I mean, the question is still out there. Well, all right, well, what about the other ones?
Yeah, like the first ones. Who made those? Because nobody ever claimed them.
Yeah.
And that honestly, that is crop circles. But I'm not done yet, because there's some dumb fucking shit with these.
Oh.
Wait, no. Before I forget, because I'm going to forget to say this. Too bad Jeremy isn't here, because I feel like I have a legitimate explanation that would solve all of our problems that he would be a very large proponent of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two ancient civilization dudes hanging out in a field, probably drunk. One is a skinwalker who can fly. He's like, bro, I have an idea, and I can guide you through it.
Just
from all
drunk
the way
off
up
their
there.
asses.
He's like, dude, tell me. And then he does like 2 squawks for turn left, 3 squawks for turn right, 1 squawk for a curve.
And then he's like, dude, I'm just a sparrow. I can't get high enough. I'll be right back. I'm going to go fuck my sister, and then I'll be able to turn into an eagle. I can get way higher
Jeremy,
up.
if you're listening, I'm going to make that joke live forever, even after you leave for space pirating.
You know he's up in space chasing down Timothée Chalamet's cruiser. Fruit roll up hanging out of his mouth. But yeah, so the dumb shit. Because there's a good amount of dumb shit about crop circles. In 2009, the Attorneys General of Tasmania, a real, actual government official, stated that the Australian wallaby were the cause of the Australian crop circles. He claimed that the wallabies got into the opium poppy fields, got high as fuck, and started running around in circles, and that's what made the crop circles that propped up in the year of 2009.
Who was this?
This was the Attorneys General of Tasmania in 2009.
All right, Attorneys General of Tasmania. You're a fucking idiot.
I do love the idea, though, of a bunch of wallabies just fucking
high off their eyes.
Just going like, I'm going to go over that corner circle. I'm going to run in a fucking circle for 6 hours.
Not only that, by the end of their, like, fucking night of debauchery, they're like...
They formed a fractal somehow.
They formed a fractal. Or, like, the symbol that resembles the first 10 digits of pi.
Oh, I love to think that they made the pi one, dude. Second stupid shit. Magnets. How do they work?
We'll never know.
Nobody knows. Now, Colin Andrews, a crop circle researcher, doesn't fucking know either. He has been studying crop circles for over 17 years.
Why?
This took me an afternoon. I just want to throw that out there, Colin Andrews. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Lindsey, relation?
I'll have you know my last name is not supposed to be Andrews, and if he's English, is he English?
I don't fucking know.
Well, if he's English, no. If he's from Italy and he moved somewhere where they would have changed his last name, maybe.
You got Ellis Island, huh?
I got Ellis Island. It's supposed to be Andrucchio, not Andrews.
What the fuck? That's way
no
cooler.
Relation. I know.
Oh, you got to change that shit back.
Yes, please.
Because my last name is Shively. We're pretty sure that it was supposed to be Schiffles. Which is way worse.
Because you know my brain went the
yeah. Now, Andrews, while I took an afternoon to study crop circles, has been doing this for over 17 years, and he does believe that 80% of them are man-made. So he's 80% correct. But roughly 20% are caused by the Earth's magnetic field shifting.
Okay.
evokes real big feelings of the gravitational fluctuation phenomena from Dyatlov Pass, don't it?
Yes, it does.
According to him, a 3-degree shift could cause a current that electrocutes the crops. Literally, he's saying the magnets move by 3 degrees and it fucking electrocutes the corn, which then makes it wilt and fall over.
Has there been sign? I mean, because if corn gets electrocuted, that shit's gonna burn.
Yeah, and also, like, this doesn't happen.
Yeah, like, you could easily replicate that in a lab somewhere if you think that phenomena exists.
But it doesn't.
Hang on, another text.
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, I guess not.
Okay. It doesn't fucking happen, right? He believes that. Also, I want to throw this out here. If he's saying that this can happen and it can make crops wilt, that alone is a theory worth investigating. But he is talking about this specifically in the terms of crop circles. So he believes that the Earth's magnetic field will shift at least 30 times per year in England alone by 3 degrees to electrocute the crops and make them fall over and form a fractal.
And nobody would be around to, like, witness any of this.
Insane. He's an insane guy. He's an insane man. As for our third stupid shit, I know that you guys are both sitting here like, I know who did all this. God did. It was the Christian God who did this. Lindsey, I know you're a devout Christian. Your silence.
You don't
speaks
have
I'm
to
volumes.
trying
answer,
to
yeah.
hold a straight face, but it lasted almost like 3 seconds.
So in the 1980s, some groups proposed that God was mad at humans causing pollution and global warming, so he drew the circles in the crops to be like, stop that. The theory isn't even complete. Like,
So what he's doing is drawing a chastity belt onto the planet.
Like runes? Like,
I just love this one because it's like, okay, then what? What did they mean? And it's like, no, he just fucking did that shit. And it's like, you didn't finish the theory, my guy.
look, Sky Daddy works in mysterious
Sky
ways.
Daddy do be working in mysterious ways. And now this one's my favorite because this one has a visual element. And if you are listening, go to Crack Open a Cryptid Podcast on Instagram where you will find this image. In 1998, the actual UK Ministry of Defense decided to say, if this is aliens landing, we need to draw up a diagram to show how this works. I'm going to post this right now, both to you guys and to Instagram, because it's fucking fantastic. So go ahead and pop into the Discord channel there. If you heard the Discord in the recording, that was me sending it to them. Notice a few things. Notice the onks clearly on the ship. So someone at the ministry is a fucking alien nerd. Now, the most important thing to me is that it looks like there was someone brought their kid to work in one day and handed them a bunch of colored pencils.
Thinking.
Nah, dude. So, as someone who, I have a pretty good grasp on art. This was drawn in by crayons.
No, there's some colored pencil going on.
There's some pen in there too, I think.
I don't know about pen.
Well, definitely pencil.
Maybe the pen for like what they
On the
wrote.
propellers, which I think are what those are propellers. The thing immediately under the first
propellers.
unk
Oh, what
makes
is
me
that?
think
Oh no. I
those
see.
look like giant dildos to me.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! These aliens
With
wanna
like
fuck.
a foot attached to it for someone with a foot fetish.
I like the inflamed sphincter on the ship as well. just
Yeah,
below
yeah,
those.
that too.
Yeah.
Now when you said propellers, I immediately was like, oh shit, you're right. You know what I thought those were? You remember in Star Wars how the clones had those drop ships that had the little ball turrets on them that shot the lasers out? I legit thought they were just like, dude, that was some fucking
but notice
sick
on
scene.
this drawing, the propellers are going to make it spin.
Also,
Look
there's
how he
clearly
drew
like
it.
jets coming out of the legs, so why do they need propellers?
Yeah, like, why are they all facing the same direction on the ship? You're just gonna spin your fucking spin ball. Like, it's right there. And one, they went out of their way to make it show that the propeller is behind something, and the other one, it is not behind it. They are spinning Jesus's giant space ball. Like,
Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. You're so right. That's all I had, by the way. I really just wanted to end on this because that shit's hilarious to me. That this
really,
is a
like, even,
real image drawn up by the UK
even if
Ministry of
they
Defense.
brought their child to work that day to draw this picture, their child would have been smart enough to be like, Dad, that's not how propellers work.
You think the Ministry of Defense would know that?
You would think.
In 98. Oh, man. Yeah, I just wanted to have fun with this one because holy shit, MK Ultra is depressing.
Yeah.
But that right there, that's the opposite of MK Ultra. That image is so fucking good to me, man. I can't stop looking at it.
I'm so mad.
I know,
like,
right?
Making me angry. Like,
See, you know what makes me angry? I'm still on the whole, like, who was that guy from Tasmania?
Oh, just
He's
the
a
actual attorneys general
Government official.
who was like, "Yeah, wallabies be getting lit, dude." I
Which
want to go to
don't
that
doubt.
party. Oh yeah, no.
I
'Cause
think wallabies are getting lit, but don't do them a disservice. Their ragers would be much better than that.
they might be the most lit animal. Just a bunch of tiny kangaroos being like, oh. You ever think about how magnets electrocute corn?
Oh.